The only time I ever watched Rowan lose color in his face was when his mother heard my voice playing through the speaker in front of everyone she had invited to humiliate me. But that came later, after a family brunch turned into a trap, and after I realized the first lie was not the one on his phone. The morning everything split open, I was standing in my kitchen holding a paper coffee cup that had already gone cold. There was a crack along the rim, and coffee kept slipping onto my thumb every time I tilted it. That is how betrayal works. Your life is falling apart, and your brain still notices the tiny messes first. My name is Colette. I am 24, and I manage event logistics for a boutique hotel group in Richmond. My job is turning other people's chaos into a clean timeline. What I had never learned was how to manage the exact moment you realize the man you love is either cheating on you, lying to your face, or both. Rowan and I had been together a little over a year, long enough for my toothbrush to live at his apartment, long enough for his mother Gloria to start speaking about me in that sticky sweet tone women like her use when they are deciding whether you are family or furniture. That Friday, Rowan picked me up after my shift because we were supposed to meet his mother the next day about a small engagement dinner. Not an actual engagement party, he had said, just a family meal because she wanted to celebrate where things were heading. His phone was plugged into the dash for directions. We were halfway through a turn when a message flashed across the screen. Can't wait to have you to myself tomorrow. She never has to know. I remember every part of the silence that came after that. Rowan saw it the same second I did. His hand flew out so fast he nearly clipped the curb, yanking the cord loose. Who is that? I asked. Not loud, not wild, just flat. He laughed, a thin, ugly laugh. You read that wrong. I absolutely did not. It was from my cousin, he snapped. About a surprise for tomorrow. His cousin was a man named Lennox. The name on the screen had not been Lennox. I said that quietly. Rowan's jaw locked. Then, like someone flipping a switch, he became offended. You are always doing this, he said. Always looking for something. You saw half a sentence while I was driving. I waited. He got louder. You need to stop acting like every woman on earth is a threat. It is exhausting. That was the first twist, not the message. The speed. The way he skipped right over explanation and ran straight to making me defend my sanity. I looked out the window and saw a gas station. Pull in. For what? So I can get out, he scoffed. Oh my god, Colette. Pull in. He did. Hard. When the car stopped, I grabbed my bag. You are really going to be dramatic over a random notification? He said. I opened the door. No, I am leaving because you think lying harder counts as the truth. He barked out a laugh. Go ahead. Uber home, then cool off and apologize. I stepped out, shut the door, and stood under the white glare of the gas station lights with my bag at my feet. He rolled down the window long enough to say, "This is why my mom worries about you," before driving off. That line sat under my ribs the whole ride home, because Gloria worried about me in the same way people worry about stains. In her mind, I was useful, polished, and never quite enough. By the time I got to my apartment, my phone was full. You embarrassed me. You made a scene? My mother is going to ask where you are tomorrow. Do not punish me because you are insecure. Then, a little after midnight, one more. If you come tomorrow, keep this attitude to yourself. Do not ruin an important day for me. Important day. At 7 the next morning, I called the florist who had been holding centerpieces for the family meal. I asked whether Rowan Hale had confirmed pickup yet. There was a pause. Then she said, "For the engagement luncheon? His mother moved the delivery address late last night." I sat down so hard my knee hit the table. The what? The engagement luncheon, honey. Did you need the revised invoice? My voice came out strange and even. Yes, please. When the email arrived, it was not for a dinner. It was for a brunch at a private garden venue across town. 40 guests, champagne wall, a pale blue cake, a stage riser, a neon sign that read, "Future Mrs. Hale." Not my name, no name at all. I called Rowan once, no answer. I called Gloria. She answered on the second ring, breathless and syrupy. "Sweetheart, wear something soft. Family photos matter." I said, "I'm not sure I can make it." The warmth vanished from her voice. "You should reconsider. Rowan has a lot riding on today." There it was again. A lot riding on today. I hung up and called the only person in that family who had ever looked embarrassed by the others. Rowan's younger sister, Esme. She answered, whispering, "I can't talk long. What is today?" Silence. Then, "I thought you knew." Cold spread through me. "Know what, Esme?" She exhaled shakily. "Gloria invited some donor family from the club. Their daughter. Her father owns property Rowan wants access to. Gloria thinks if he announces something today, it will secure a partnership. She's been saying you two have been on and off." I closed my eyes. Esme kept going in a rush. "I heard Rowan fighting with her yesterday. He said he was handling it. I thought he was going to tell you." Handling it? Like I was an overdue bill. My throat burned, but my voice stayed level. Whose text was on his dash? "A woman named Tinsley," Esme said softly. "Gloria introduced them at a fundraiser." Not just cheating then, positioning. I thanked her and hung up. Then I did what women like Gloria always mistake for weakness. I got quiet. Around noon, I drove to the venue in a navy dress. In my tote bag were the florist invoice, screenshots of Rowan's texts from the night before, and one thing Esme had sent 10 minutes earlier after sneaking into Gloria's study, a photo of handwritten place cards. At the head table in Gloria's voices looping script were 3 cards. Rowan, Tinsley, Colette, not fiancé, not family. Just my name, placed 1 seat down like decorative evidence that I had attended. I sat in my parked car, reading that photo until I started to laugh. Not because it was funny, because humiliation has a shape when it finally becomes visible, and sometimes seeing it clearly is the thing that saves you. The second I walked into the venue, I felt it. Eyes. Tiny pauses in conversation. Gloria near the entry in sage silk, smiling too brightly. There you are, she said, touching my arm like we were close. I was beginning to think you might do something selfish. I looked at her hand until she removed it. Then I let my gaze travel past her to the terrace where Rowan stood with a blonde woman in a cream dress, his body angled toward hers. He saw me. For one flicker of a second, all the blood drained out of his face. Tinsley turned, following his stare. She was polished, beautiful, and visibly confused when she saw me, which told me at least one useful thing. Gloria had lied to more than one person. Colette, Rowan said, arriving too fast, smile strained. Can we talk? Gloria answered for me. Not yet. Guests first. A server passed with champagne. Gloria took one and offered it to me like a prop. Try to be gracious. I set the glass back on the tray untouched. Instead of screaming, I asked for the restroom, walked inside, locked the door, and sent 3 emails. The first went to myself, attaching the revised invoice and Esme's photo for timestamp. The second went to my assistant manager at the hotel, asking her to send me the external recording clip from a charity site inspection 6 weeks earlier, specifically the portion filmed in our rooftop lounge. The third went to a client liaison named Mara, whose family belonged to Gloria's club. I kept it simple. If you are attending the Hale brunch, please wait to sign anything today. There is relevant information you should hear first. Then I stared at my reflection and let myself feel it for 10 seconds. The hurt, the stupidity, the heat of realizing how many little kindnesses I had handed a man who was trying to trade me in without the inconvenience of telling me first. After that, I powdered under my eyes, unlocked the door, and went back out smiling. About halfway through the first course, while glasses chimed and people settled into their polished little conversations, I want to ask one quick thing. If you are still with me in this moment, like this story, subscribe and stay close. Support matters more than people think when someone is trying to rewrite the truth in real time. Alright, now let me take you back, because the clip I had requested from the hotel was not random. 6 weeks earlier, my property had hosted a donor preview for an arts foundation. Gloria had brought Rowan. I had been working the event floor when I passed the rooftop lounge and heard Gloria's voice through the terrace doors while a videographer captured ambient footage. Gloria had laughed and said, "Tinsley is perfect. Colette is useful, but Tinsley comes with doors." A man's voice, Rowan's, lower and tense. "You cannot keep talking about her like that. Then stop sleeping at one girl's apartment while planning a future with the right one," Gloria had replied. At the time, I had kept walking because wealthy people say monstrous things when they think staff are invisible. I remembered it only after the dash message when that ugly little thread started pulling all the others loose. When I returned to the terrace, Gloria was tapping a spoon against a glass, ready to welcome everyone. Rowan kept trying to catch my eye. Tinsley kept glancing between us like she knew she had walked into a room with missing context. And then my phone buzzed in my hand. Video file received. I lifted my eyes to the front just as Gloria smiled at the crowd and said, "Today is about honesty, family, and choosing the future with courage." I almost admired the nerve. I stood before the room with my phone warm in my hand and felt something inside me settle into place. Not break. Settle. People think the moment you understand how deeply you have been disrespected, you fall apart. Sometimes you just become very, very clear. Gloria kept smiling at the crowd. Before we begin brunch, I want to say how proud I am of Rowan for stepping into a new season of maturity, vision, and commitment. There were approving murmurs. Silverware chimed. I lifted my glass of water and set it down again. Commitment to whom? A chair leg scraped stone. Rowan's voice came fast and low. "Colette, not here." I turned toward him. "That is interesting, because you were very comfortable doing it here." Gloria's face tightened, then softened into concern. "Sweetheart, if you are overwhelmed, we can speak privately." "No," I said. "Private is how people like you build 2 versions of the same day." Tinsley looked directly at me. "Can someone tell me what is going on?" Rowan took a step toward her, but I spoke first. "You should probably know I was at his apartment 3 nights this week. My toothbrush is still next to his sink." Every eye in the room shifted to Rowan. He laughed, thinner now. "She is exaggerating." I reached into my tote, pulled out the florist invoice, and handed it to Mara, who was nearest the aisle. "Read the date aloud." Mara blinked, then did. "Revised delivery for engagement luncheon. Requested last night." Tinsley's color changed so fast I watched it happen. Gloria moved in smoothly. "This is a misunderstanding. Rowan and Colette have had an unstable arrangement for months. We included her today because we wanted to be kind." Kind. I looked at Tinsley. "Did anyone tell you that?" She swallowed. "I was told he had just ended pretended something complicated. Rowan tried again. Tinsley, please, my mother's making this worse. No, I said quietly. Your mother made it possible. You made it real. Gloria's voice sharpened. Enough. I unlocked my phone. You are right. Enough. Then I turned the volume all the way up and pressed play. The rooftop video opened with city noise, clinking glasses, and a sweep of string lights over the hotel terrace. The camera drifted toward the lounge doors. Gloria's voice came through before her face appeared. Tinsley is perfect. Colette is useful, but Tinsley comes with doors. A ripple moved through the brunch crowd. The camera angle shifted. Rowan came partly into frame, hand at the back of his neck. You cannot keep talking about her like that, Gloria laughed. Then stop sleeping at one girl's apartment while planning a future with the right one. The clip ended there. No one moved. For the first time since I had met Gloria, she looked ordinary, not polished, not powerful. Just a woman who had finally said the ugly part out loud in front of the wrong audience. Tinsley stood so fast her chair hit the stone behind her. You lied to me. Gloria recovered first. This was taken out of context. Tinsley stared at Rowan. Were you with her while you were with me? He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. It was not serious with either of you in the way you think. That was the line that destroyed him. Not because it was cruel, because it was efficient. In one sentence, he insulted both women, confirmed the overlap, and exposed the small, cowardly center of himself to every donor, cousin, and family friend at those tables. Tinsley's father, who had been silent until then, folded his napkin and set it down. Then there will be no property discussion today, or any other day. Mara, still holding the invoice, looked from Gloria to me. You used a hotel vendor account tied to Colette's industry contacts for this? Gloria said nothing. Mara's mouth hardened. That was stupid. The room came alive all at once. Whispers, phones lighting up, one aunt tugging another closer. The humiliation Gloria had prepared for me rolled neatly back across the table and sat in her lap. Rowan stepped close enough that I could smell his cologne. Can we talk outside? I looked at him and thought about every smaller moment I had excused. Every time he called me sensitive when I noticed something off. Every time he let his mother insult me by inches and then asked me not to make things harder for him. Betrayal rarely arrives as one giant blow. It is usually a hallway of tiny doors you kept unlocking for someone who never deserved the key. So I gave him the only thing he had earned, calm. No, his voice dropped. You are blowing up my life. You built it out of lies. I just opened a window. He flinched. Gloria tried one more time. Colette, whatever you think you are doing, public scenes do not help women. They only make everyone pity us. I turned to her. This is not a public scene. This is a correction. Then I pulled one last thing from my bag, the handwritten place card. I handed it to Tinsley. She looked down, read her own name beside Rowan's, then saw mine placed lower like some decorative witness to my own erasure. Her eyes lifted slowly to Gloria's face. You invited her to watch. Gloria said nothing. That silence landed harder than any confession. Tinsley set the card on the table with almost delicate care. Do not contact me again. Then she picked up her purse, touched her father's shoulder, and walked out with him. 3 other people from their side followed immediately. A domino line. Mara stood next. I should go too. And Gloria, for your sake, I hope no one at the club asks me whether that video is real, because I do not lie well under pressure. More chairs moved, more faces changed. One by one, the room started choosing distance. That was Gloria's true nightmare. Not being hated, being socially abandoned. Rowan caught my wrist as I turned to leave. I looked down at his hand. He let go immediately. Please, he said. And for the first time all day, there was no arrogance in him, only fear. Do not send that to anyone else. I almost laughed. That is what you are worried about? His eyes darted toward the half-empty terrace. My job, my mother's board seat, people talk. Yes, I said. They do. Then I leaned in just enough that he had to hear me clearly. You told me getting out of your car made me unstable. Watch how stable I am now. I stepped away, walked through the garden exit, and did not look back. By evening, 3 things had happened. First, Gloria's brunch had become the only topic in 2 overlapping social circles, and every retelling got worse for her, because the truth was already ugly enough. Second, Rowan's supervisor called me. Not because I had sent the video. Mara had apparently warned someone at his office that a scandal with donor-adjacent implications was likely to hit by Monday. His supervisor wanted to know whether hotel footage had been obtained illegally. I told her the clip was recorded during an event by an approved vendor in a public hospitality space, and that I had no interest in discussing Rowan further. Third, Esme came to my apartment with takeout and a cardboard box. Inside were my spare clothes, chargers, skincare, a framed photo of me and Rowan from a fall fair, and my blue mug from his kitchen. I packed what was yours before Mom could decide she bought it for the apartment, Esme said. I stared at the box so hard my vision blurred. That was not your job, I whispered. I know, she said, but it felt good. That was the emotional twist I did not expect. Not everyone in a rotten structure is rotten all the way through. Some people are just scared until they finally see one person refuse to bow. 2 days later, Rowan sent a long email, not an apology. The kind of message men write when consequences have have finally arrived, and they want credit for feeling bad after the useful moment has passed. He said he was under pressure. He said his mother had always controlled him. He said he had loved me in his own way. That phrase made everything simpler. I replied with one sentence. Love that needs deception, staging, and audience management is not love. Then I blocked him everywhere. Gloria tried once through an unknown number. She said women of grace handle heartbreak discreetly, and that I had damaged my own reputation by being vindictive. I listened to it twice, then saved it in a folder called Proof. After that, I blocked that number too. A week later, I learned Rowan had lost the property opportunity, been removed from one community planning group Gloria had pushed him onto, and taken leave from work while personal matters settled down. I heard Gloria skipped a charity gala because too many people had misunderstood a family event. As for me, I got quieter in better ways. I stopped sleeping with my phone under my pillow. I stopped rehearsing arguments in the shower. I stopped doubting my first clear instinct just because someone louder wanted to replace it with theirs. One Friday night, about a month later, I was driving home from a site visit when my own phone lit up on the dash with a message from Esme. You free for dinner later? I miss you. I laughed so hard I had to pull over. Not because it hurt anymore. Because this time, when a message appeared on the screen, there was no panic in my body, no confusion, no man beside me trying to turn my eyes against themselves. Just a road opening ahead, my hands steady on the wheel, and the clean, quiet relief of knowing I had not been too much. I had simply been right.